white wines, red wines, this is something older.
And I do apologise to everybody that maybe the form of this evening tonight has been brought around prematurely on my account. Sam, when we were looking for you, I thought that you had done what I was tempted to do as I walked through the door. When I saw so many people here, I took fright and almost turned around and ran off. Nevertheless, I took courage in my hands and I'm here. Sam, I think it's pretty well known that this is the time of departures. Either people moving on to other jobs or those people moving into retirement as you yourself are doing. And there are three such functions this evening at which I've been asked to say a few words on behalf of the LEA. And I want you to know, Sam, that the earlier function was to mark the departure of a head teacher within the borough who is extremely well thought of. And the next function will be also the departure of a head teacher into premature retirement. But I want you to know, very sincerely, that as far as I'm concerned, the three occasions this evening mark the departure of three people who are held in extremely high esteem and who have made in their respective ways a very positive contribution to both the education service of Waltham Forest and in particular to their respective schools and you to Barclay. And I want you to know that as far as I'm concerned, this evening, or this function, is of equal status in my mind to the other two functions that are either side of them. And I certainly wouldn't want you to go away feeling that I've come along merely to say a few words because it's the done thing. That is not the case at all, and I feel very honoured indeed to be here. As I'm sure Andrew Lockhart would have been here this evening to say his few words, but unfortunately he's away at the present time. Sam, you've been here for 25 years, and you will know that I've been here about the same length of time. And I've been very familiar with, very many years ago, I had the role of a staffing officer, and I became very familiar with the staffing lists of schools, and the stability amongst the staffing list of Barclay Junior School, and indeed of the infant school, was quite remarkable. But every time I looked at the list, there's the name Woodcock, ever present. And I asked myself, what would this school do without Sam Woodcock? How different the list would look without it. So thanks for staying, Sam, if only to make the list. But I know that many others have spent a considerable part, if not their whole careers, within Barclay Junior School. Sam, I think that you've been in a quite unique situation, actually, as deputy in Barclay Junior School. How many deputy head teachers have served so diligently, so effectively, and so successfully in the context of a peripatetic head teacher? The head teacher who will spend part of his time at Barclay, but the next year it's a matter of conjecture. Will he be here? Will he be there? And there is that odd occasion when he appears to Barclay. But Sam, from the authority's point of view, whenever it's being mooted, the idea that John Cullis might do, a job at another school, or a job within the education department, etc., there never has been any concern as to the welfare of Barclay Junior School in the absence of the head teacher. Because there has always been a confident assumption that the school is in safe hands under your direction. You have responded positively on each of those occasions. And in my view, stand corrected in this, but I've never heard anyone comment adversely as to how the school may have suffered because of the absence of the wandering John Cullis. I have it on good authority that he is likely to be at Barclay, John Cullis, that is, he is likely to be at Barclay in September, but I wouldn't bet any money on it. But if he's not here, Sam, I just wonder what's going to happen, because you will be here. I was looking at your record, Sam, before I came out tonight. I must say you've had very many interesting roles, both educationally and in the wider community. And obviously, you are a very active person, and I know you're a very active person. By the way, Sam, I came along to Barclay Junior School a few months ago, and I couldn't find my way in. And who was there? The knight in shining armour was Sam. Don't worry, I've got the keys. I'll let you say to you that I think that you have been a credit to Open Forest, a credit to Barclay Junior School. I've enjoyed thoroughly working alongside you. I congratulate you on your reliability. I congratulate you on your commitment throughout. You are about to enter a well-deserved retirement. Enjoy it, Sam, but we'll still be thinking of you. Thank you.
I know Malcolm has to go, so if you'll forgive him, he'll just spit out now. But if you're comfortable, I'd like to say a few words of my own, although Malcolm's stolen my thunder, and with your forbearance, I say a couple of notes nevertheless to help me through, because 25 years is something, and that's minimum. He's done more than that, actually. But anybody that can serve that length of time, it's quite remarkable. Before I go on, mention more, I would like, to thank you all for coming so far and wide. It really is splendid to see you from many years back, colleagues, friends, in all walks of life, taking the trouble to get here tonight. But thank you very much indeed. It is indeed a tribute to Sam and the esteem you hold him in. So we are extremely grateful. All of you finding the time on a Friday night to all nights when usually we're home relaxing after a week's work. So thank you. Also, a big thank you, I must say, to start to our midday assistants and our cleaning staff and Marion Lollipop, who set about the food. Would you give them a big hand? Those friendships and acquaintances again, so thank you. We've certainly trawled plenty, and we've certainly chosen you through a great deal of thought. And in fact, you know, the list was endless, but you were special. And I know you all hold Sam in high regard. His duty to Barclay, many of you can tell stories, anecdotes all night. You recall his teaching prowess, all kinds of humorous stories, far better than I'm able to deliver tonight. But I can tell you that every hair on his head, every muscle, every gold-filled tooth that is always at the dentist, has been used in great detail for the sake of Barclay at Barclay Junior School Leyton. He's been weaned through here. He's certainly not been weaned on people like that. He is a deputy head teacher, in my view, and I've worked with a few now. He's the big one. Barclay's big, but he's big. And he's proved day in, day out what a nuclear deterrent he is to so many. And I think he's led invasions over the years, far and wide. Some of you will recall those trips abroad with children, those trips up Welsh mountains, those trips more recently to his homeland of Dorset and seafood. He's been there. It is tracksuit, still never won, but it is blue tracksuit. And you know to what I allude. More of that later. And then his angelic deliverances at our assemblies day in, day out. Angelic, you'll agree, of feature. Certainly saintly, as he's preached to me many times in assemblies, and behind closed doors. He wasn't the president, the chair of the RE Association for nothing. And we've learned our 23rd Psalm and other many Exodus chapters thanks to Sam. So my indebtedness to you, Sam, knows no bounds, and thank you. But then, not the big deputy head. Malcolm alluded to the fact that he's been head, not just for 1 year, he's been head a few years. Certainly he was a head before I came here. He was a head when Jack Saunders left. He was a head when I disappeared to the town. He was a head more recently when I was at Stonehenge. He's been a head at least 3 or 4 times and knows headship from the sharp end. So I think we're talking about a head teacher, not just the big deputy head teacher. And I'm grateful and heartfelt thanks, Sam, for your assistance in allowing me to be the odd fire engine around the place. He's worked incredibly hard in many roles. So, staff will tell you, and those of you that have rubbed shoulders with him regularly, just how much his kindness tells. He's an extremely kind person. And I think that's been a hallmark, and that's been much appreciated by all of us day in, day out. He realises now that, like us all, the highest roost is not the safest branch by any means, as modern education keeps changing. And he's been at the cutting edge. He's been at the cutting edge of what's going on now, as we all know, in education. I can tell you he's no dead halibut, he's no dead fishmonger. Those of us from the West Country, we tend to get stereotyped and labelled. He knows his onions. But he also knows it's time. It's time. And he's been stamping, as I said earlier, on pavement farming for a very long time now. And he's certainly not hanging about like the last turkey in the shop. He's going at the best time. And I think, in his way, he's waged a ceaseless battle up there in his citadel. He's waged a ceaseless battle against anarchy here, evil, chaos, and was truly marked when he was made president of the Deputy Head Teachers Association for the whole of the borough. No mean feat that, and no mean responsibility. He's also even been in charge of the key box in fates year after year after year. Now I mention his RE, his religious education knowledge, his lay preaching techniques. But he's a historian. He's taught me more history than I ever learned. He knows the difference between a medieval chalice and a chip pan. And anybody who doubts that knowledge is in for a rude awakening. But, to quote dear old Shakespeare, youth is full of sport, and he came from a physical education Woodcock College. Youth is full of sport, and he certainly is a sportsman. But age's breath is short, Shakespeare tells us. And as he puffs up to his citizen in the day, he barely makes it to the top without being afraid. I've been somewhat worried by his bloodshot eye and matching jacket, but he's made it. King of the stockroom, staff will tell you. King of the stockroom. He's understood the principles of good stock taking. What a duty, what a responsibility. We would say of his stock, true heroism, Sam. Stoical, daring. Now we can relax, but now he can relax, because to be in charge of stock is a pretty awful job for him. But Sam, you've been incredibly loyal to so many of us, not least me, critically. And he's been an ever porous rock can hear it ticking. And soon, I've no doubt, fitted to your smart new Mondeo motor, you'll have a filter for seaweed as you go down on the coast, instead of the pretty awful, foul-smelling fumes that we endure every day. And watch out, poor old Buttons, your dog. Make sure you don't get his tail tangled in the mangle when you do the laundry. Buttons is poor old dog. We're sad to lose you, Sam. We're very sad to lose you. And please enjoy your freedom and make a clean break. Make a clean break. But Nelson, being a historian as you are, Nelson's advice once was very clear. Go at the zenith. He's going when he's still at his best. And I think that is a mark of someone too. 25 years. You can well be proud. Proud of your achievements. And your attitude to the job we've all learned from. Because attitude, as we tell young children, is very much the start of major problems for all of us in day-to-day teaching. But your attitude has been revealed, I think, by the people who work with you. And I would just like to just home in on that attitude business, because we don't talk enough about it. Forgive me if I'm preaching to the converted. The attitude, Sam, in 3 sections, if you like. The attitude of your superiors, the attitude of your equals, the attitude of those subordinate to you. And from my talks just this evening, with Mark Meredith, with advisors here present, you've won their respect by your attitude. They've had every confidence in you, as we've heard from Malcolm Meredith, in terms of their authority over you. As far as your equals are concerned, and many of us are your equals tonight, you gained our goodwill justifiably. And I think all your equals are proud to have been associated with you. And those that have been subordinate to you, Sam, in that difficult role of giving directions and instructions, you've earned the respect of your subordinates, and their esteem has been well evident. So, worthiness, I suggest to everyone, in no small measure. And it's every duty that you've performed. You've tried to do it faithfully, and you've tried to do it to the best of your ability, fully discharged. Colleagues, I ask for your enthusiasm this evening as I end these few words. And I ask for you to drink in a few moments Sam's good health. I think retirement tonight would be a very sad occasion, but for the fact that we're not saying goodbye. What we're hoping, Sam, is that you will continue, although I mentioned a clean break first, you will continue your association with us. And the evening is only here. The glorious sunset is to come, but you've got to really keep coming back and seeing us. I think we're sad, certainly to a degree tonight, but where will we find a counsellor, a companion, such a colleague? Hard to find. But you will always be assured here of the heartiest welcome when you come back, as I'm sure you will. And when you do come back, you will remind us of the good times we've had, the associations with you. And your temperament, your congeniality has, in many cases, inspired loads and loads of children. I cannot count over all those years just how many children must have gone through Sam's hands and his influence over all those generations. It must be thousands and thousands. Families and grandparents now are still full of admiration. So I express, Sam, everyone's wish here tonight, that you enjoy a full and prosperous, well-deserved rest, leisure, and as a token of love, we would like you to receive a small gift from us all, and you would make sure the chocolate medallion doesn't melt. Mum, who's come all the way up by train from Dorset today. With your permission, I'd like to present Mum this bouquet from all of us at once.
What a wonderful speech that was. Thank you very much. Now, it's a difficult thing to follow, and I don't know quite what to say. I haven't anything prepared. I could talk about my dog parts. Or there's the story about Saul crossing the desert. I did that last week. Well, children said to me, "Oh, sir, what are we going to do for assembly?" I said, "Oh, there'll be someone will come along and take your assemblies, I'm sure." My assemblies, of course, everybody's heard about now, and buttons, and of course I shall miss them. Naturally, I shall miss them. But all good things come to an end. Having been teaching for 35 years, I started way back in 1959, which is more than 35 years ago. There's mathematicians among you. Then I had a little break because I did a year's teaching before I went to college. And I just left school in 1959. Went to my local school in the next village to me in Dorset. And the head teacher was there, and it was just a very small school. The head teacher taking the juniors, his wife taking the infants, and me. And on my first day, his wife was ill, and the head teacher was also not very well. I was shown my class, and he said, "I'm pretty sure you'll be all right in there, it's a little classroom," and so on. And then at lunchtime, he said, "Well, I'm going back to my house for a lie down. I don't feel very well." The part-time, the supply teacher who was taking the infants this morning, she's left also. There'll be another supply teacher coming in the afternoon on the bus, but it might be a bit late, but not to worry, because you can have them all in the hall and read a story, I'm sure. And, have you met Mrs. Moore? She's the dinner lady. Now, she'll tell you what happens during the dinner time. The containers are there, the custard is over there, and so on. This is absolutely true. I was 18 years old. I was in charge of the whole school, albeit a very small school, 75 children, but infants and juniors. And there was one dinner lady, and we gave out all the food and things, and served the custard and so on. And then she washed up, and I minded the children during the lunch hour, and that was my initiation in teaching. And I thought then, well, shall I or shan't I? The head teacher there was very, very strict, and my handwriting wasn't good enough for the school records, in his opinion. And so he kept me behind after school. Absolutely true. He kept me behind after school for handwriting lessons. For the school records and the register. And to this day, well, when I say to this day, it's a slight exaggeration. Until 2 years ago, when we went computerized with our registers, when I was marking a register, I was very mindful of that headmaster and how I had to mark the register in ink dipping pen, black for the absentees and red for the presents and so on, and had to sign if there was a mistake. I had to initial the mistake and so on. And that kept with me all my teaching career. Well, that's how I started, and a lot of things have happened since then. The major part of my teaching has been, of course, at Barclay. 25 years out of 35 at Barclay. I came to Barclay, and my first impression of Barclay was in this hall at the summer exhibition. Those of you who are ex-colleagues way back remember the summer exhibition. And there were screens all around here and all the children's work. And I come from then teaching in Forest Gate. And Forest Gate, well, I always like to sort of offend anybody who might be living or went to school at Forest Gate. The school I was in was the pits. Come here to Barclay to see their summer exhibition and to learn this was a school of some means, of some standing, and that I was really privileged and very lucky to get a job here, because in those days it was just at the end of 11 plus, and people moved into this area to get their children through the 11 plus with a very high standard. And I saw that at that summer exhibition. And I didn't say anything to anybody, but I thought, my goodness, am I going to be able to produce standard work like this? Oh my goodness. However, there you are, time goes on, and you adjust to your working atmosphere and career. One of the people who gave me an enormous amount of help, and I think about that person almost daily, and I'm so pleased and honoured that she is here to be at my retirement today, and that is Miss Shepherd. You were appointed here, and I like to think that I'm, as John said, a bit of a historian, and I like to think of continuity. Someone who can't be here, who died a number of years ago, was Pi, Mr. Piakis. Now, I wasn't a colleague of Mr. Piakis. I met him on 1 or 2 occasions. In fact, I took his position when he retired. Mr. Piakis was appointed here in 1932, when that part of the school was opened first. This part of the school and that part of the school were 2 separate schools. And Mr. Piakis was on the opening staff at that end of the school. And I read from the school logbook that when, during the war, the school was evacuated, Mr. Piakis led the evacuation away. The continuity is that I took on from Mr. Piakis. We shook hands, we had a chat, and so on. And then I came. And I wasn't here as long as Mr. Piakis, but 25 years. And there is that link there. I'm very much a historian, and I look for links in the place. So thank you for Miss Shepherd. Thank you also to so many of, I won't say old colleagues, but colleagues who were here with me all that time ago when I was appointed here. As I said, I came here and looked at that summer exhibition, but on that occasion there was a PE class and they were having netball. No, they weren't. They were having PE out there on what's now called Year 5 playground. And there was a sprightly young teacher, Jane Turner, who was taking about there, and I thought, well, I'm in the right place. So it's gone on from there. I have a fond of memories. I won't bore you all night, because I could go on all night. And Saunders, who was John Cullis's immediate predecessor, cannot be with us tonight. He wrote me a very nice card and said some very nice things on the card. He had some sad family news, and so he felt that he couldn't be with us tonight, but will be with us in spirit, I'm sure, and we will be thinking of him and his wife Esther tonight. Also, I had a phone call only this morning from Ron Casemore. Mr. Casemore was coming until today, but unfortunately his wife has fallen down. Mrs. Casemore is a little frail, and she had a nasty fall today and is unable to leave the house. So Ron passed on his best wishes and apologies to all those people that he worked with, and he would have so much liked to have been here with us all today. There are a number of other people also who have apologised who would like to be with us today. So perhaps now is an appropriate time to raise our glasses to absent friends, because there are some people who would like to be here and others who perhaps now cannot be here. Ladies and gentlemen, to my absent friends, to our absent friends and colleagues. Thank you. I haven't finished yet. This is like my assembly. It goes on. The assembly goes on. We'll have extra play, folks. We'll have extra play. When I came here in 1970, whatever it was, there was no tradition of school journeys. Nobody went anywhere. I mean, I think they went out of the day to the museums, but nobody went anywhere. And Pam Cranefield, Pam's Woodcock, there she is, said to me, what about organise the school journey? And I said, well, yes, I was thinking that time. They don't seem to do anything like that here. Where I come from in Forest Gate, we had traditions of going out. We used to go down to St Mary's Bay. So Pam said, well, what about it? Can we organise something like that from Barclay? And I said, well, yes, I'm willing if you're willing. So, to cut a long story short, we started in 1974 or 5. It's so long ago, I can't remember the exact year now. And we organised our first school journey to St Mary's Bay in Kent for the total cost of something like £14 for a full week board. That was going out on a Friday and coming back on the following Saturday, weekend included. £14 a head, can't be bad. We had some good trips down there, several trips to St Mary's Bay, didn't we, Pam? And then as the tradition then increased, Carmela Samet, who was over there, who was at that time teaching French here, said, well, you ought to go abroad to broaden the horizons of the children, and it would help them with their French if we went to the continent. So we were in a fortunate position in those days of being able to run 2 school journeys in the same year for what is now called Year 6. We used to go to St Mary's Bay, and we went to France, and later on Belgium. Was that not right, Sonia?
And Mr. Bodie was in charge.
And Mr. Bodie was in charge. There's Eddie Bodie, who was in charge, who was the second deputy. In those days, we had 2 deputies, Miss Shepherd and Mr. Bodie. I was just a mere run-of-the-mill teacher. Anyway, so and off we went. And on one occasion, I went to France. I went to France as well. I didn't.
And so did Mr. Riley.
And Mr. Riley. Yes, well, we won't go into the details. Well, with Mr. Riley, we won't go into the details. Anyway, suffice to say, we did have a really good time. And Benedictine and brandy on the rocks is a very good drink. Anyway, so it goes on. And from there we started a tradition every year of going on a school journey. And that has gone on, I believe, without a break until the present time. And this year we've not long got back from Oslington in Dorset, and I went along with the group. And only today in the hall we had an Oslington reminiscing assembly. We saw some videos, and we retold some stories and had a jolly good time there. So I say to the children sometimes, you get more out of the school the more that you can put into the school. And perhaps I would like to leave the school having put into the school one or two things, but specifically the tradition of the school journey. Because that's a tradition that I started, and I would like to feel would continue on into the future in one form or another. And to that effect, I again dug out the archives, and I noticed, and Joan Elliott will confirm this as well, that we have a post office account which we opened in 1974. And during 1974 and 1975, and Barry Riley will perhaps remember this, we received a couple of donations from Islington Round Table in order to assist underprivileged children to attend such journeys. And this was put on deposit in our post office, and it accrued interest. And a couple of underprivileged children, over a couple of years, thanks to Islington Round Table, were able to go on a journey which they perhaps wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And so it is my wish that from September 1997, a bursary be established based on that remaining money in the post office account, and to be used for the sole purpose of further assisting any socially deprived or underprivileged pupil at Barclay Junior School, in order that they too may attend any future residential school journey which may be organised. And I wish to donate a sum towards that post office account, and that capital sum should be held in perpetuity. The interest accruing from it to be used, and the interest gained from any other monies which could be added to it over the years should only be used for that above purpose. And John, if you would so grant permission, it would be nice if that was named the Sam Woodcock Bursary for Residential School Journeys. And can I give you now that document? Well, I think that's it. Just nice to say, thank you all for coming. It's not over yet. Please, the masses committee, I must thank, as John did before me, the army of lady helpers who put on this marvellous spread. Do it justice, please. I would like to thank friends and colleagues for coming, family for coming. Over there in the corner, my godson and his mum and dad. Thank you very much for coming, Matthew. And my mum, as you know, my cousin Carol and my friend Beryl will come up from Dorset. Thank you very much for coming and supporting me and listening. card until
When you drive, go.
some private share about your retirement. You were so.
Well, there's not much in that one. The other one's
I will keep that for a little private month.
and I don't. And Sammy, you can't stop. Bring it down.
I shall be very, very brief, partly because I didn't know I was going to be asked to speak. Well, in fact, last time this happened to me, I didn't have a tie either, so I think I should always carry a tie when I walk through the school stores.
They're on sale down the office.
And the only other thing I'd like to say as well, that now that Malcolm has actually gone, is that you can place as much money as you like that John will be here in September. We'll make sure of that. I don't really know what to say. I've only been with the school for about 3 years. One thing that really has struck me about Sam was actually an indirect thing, really. It was at last summer's fete. I was unable to attend, but my partner went along, and Sam was doing I think you were doing the sports and the games last year. And she mentioned this to me, and I said, "Oh, how did it all go?" And she said, "Oh, it was lovely. It was wonderful with the kids. There was so much respect from the kids. They showed so much affection towards him." And I feel that if someone can do that still after 25 years, that's an incredible mark of an extremely good teacher, an extremely caring person, and someone who's very well respected in his profession. So no one as of yet has actually toasted Sam. So if you have got a drink, please raise your glasses and wish Sam the very, very best.